Hi Cancer, how's it going? Happy birthday, my sleepyheads. Oh my God, let me tell you, every time, like, it just doesn't skip a beat. Every year at the beginning of Cancer season, I just become extremely fatigued. Like, it's ridiculous how slow I feel like I'm moving. Granted, Mercury is now stationed retrograde along with Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. But like, goddamn, like every year, and then it doesn't help that it's Monday. You know what I mean? So it's the start of a new work week, and I have business offline, right, when I'm not doing things with YouTube, but I just can't bring myself to care to be productive right now. Like, I just want to lay down. I should have taken a personal day. I should have used some sick leave to just do this video and just lay back down, because I swear to you, like, I just feel like I'm really working against myself and going against the grain with having to stay awake right now. But like, that's Cancer energy. Like, how do you guys do this all the time? All the Cancers that I know, whenever I would go over to their homes, like especially growing up, Renee Davis, if you ever watched this, hey girl, shout out. But like, I would go and visit her and she was always in her room, in her bed, or like wanting to be near like a couch or somewhere where she could like just lounge and curl up in a ball and just be cuddled up. Like, whenever I go see my mom, same thing. Like, she can wake up from sleeping for 8 hours and eat something. We'll talk for a good minute, but then she's drained after that. Like, she can go back to sleep. Like, and I know that there are some other like Instagram famous influencers that are Cancerians, namely Aaliyah J and Ariana, the real Kyle sister. If you guys follow either one of them online, then but like, they are always near a bed or wanting to be asleep, or always mentioning just how tired they are. So it's just you guys. And for those that don't have the placement, like don't have a lot of Cancer or a lot of water in your chart, then this season can have hit you very hard in the beginning, like it's doing with me. It can be doubling down, where you might just feel very weak and kind of like uninspired, a little bit. I don't want to say like depressed, but it's really more of that like drowsy energy for sure. Also, you can just be feeling a lot more sensitive than usual. For women with titties, your nipples can be highly sensitive at this time, even if you're not PMSing. Your weight can be fluctuating like crazy, more than usual. You might wake up with a flat stomach, but then the slightest thing can make you bloat. And if you are really particular about your body image and your body weight, then you can become very sensitive about that and just start crying. I just see and foresee a lot of tears from those that don't have prominent Cancerian placement. You guys rule water, so this is like your wheelhouse. Like, you will navigate this space and this transit quite easily. And so you might be the one spearheading a lot of solutions for ways in which people can overcome and or move through it without completely drowning in themselves and the emotions that also at this time we may be absorbing from others, because that's not unlike you Cancerians. You guys are very hypersensitive, and so you tend to absorb other people's feelings and emotions to the point where it's hard to dissociate between what belongs to somebody else and what somebody else's karma to deal with, and what is specific to you, right, and your energetic field, for lack of a better word, I can't think of. But if you've been out of alignment, now is the time that you will be getting back in center with yourself, rightfully so, because this is the kickoff to, again, your season, your birthday month. So anything that you may have been repressing at this time, you will be dealing with those matters, just so that you can breathe a sigh of relief and feel a lot lighter in spirit and in heart, so you're not carrying in or harping on anything that has been weighing you down for the past few weeks and or months. You guys are very good at holding grudges. You guys hold water. You're the ocean. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be going through a period of release. Let's see how it really translates in a spread for you. But as far as the transits specifically, the sun is at Cancer. Well, the sun is at 1 degree Cancer, moon 18 degrees in the sign of Cancer, Mercury 14 degrees in the sign of Cancer, Venus at the 5th degree in the sign of Gemini, you know, and then of course we know Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are retrograde. But Mercury is retrograde and Venus is still retrograde. So there's just a lot that is going on right now. For those that may be feeling very groggy, with Mercury being stationed retrograde now, if you've been having dreams, you might come to find that it's very hard for you to also recall what those dreams are, and to extract any real meaning out of them. Some of you guys, your imagination might be heightened, so you can be just experiencing a lot of illusions in your dream state, things that really don't really just hold any weight in your waking consciousness. And I feel like I kind of said that, so I apologize if what I say is redundant in any way. But from what I can somewhat remember, because I woke up feeling very like cloudy, like my thoughts have been very cloudy lately. But the dream that I had before I woke up this morning, what I remember was that I was in a loft, like I was in a different space than where I am now. So if that is on the horizon for me, then, you know, gratitude, much gratitude, God, because I could definitely use more space. But I was with Dolo the Pilot Man. For those that know, then you already know. I've never met him in real life. We don't have any sort of a platonic relationship or business relationship. Never spoken with the man. So it's interesting that he came through because I haven't watched his videos in a while now. But he and I were in my loft and we were trying to figure out where to hang this one particular painting, on what wall to put it on. But as far as the colors and what I remember, there was a lot of blue in that dream and in those paintings that he and I curated together. And I remember specifically the one that was hanging by the door, the entryway of the door. It was of water, and something else was in the image, but I can't remember. But the water transitioned from a very light, clear, transparent blue color to more murky, dark, mysterious, you know, kind of somewhat dangerous in color, because it went from that light baby blue to like that turquoise to that like navy blue color. So I remember that. And then the painting that we were going back and forth on, it also had blue in it, but I remember that there was also purple depicted in that image. And I want to say it was yellow, but it might have had some tinges of orange in it. I know that there was just a pop of color that set it apart from the other paintings I already had in my space. But for the life of us, we couldn't figure out where to put it because of that orange or that yellow that was in there. It damn, can I speak? It became a little busy. So as far as chakras, you guys might personally be dealing with that, like your root chakra, not your root chakra, but your, well, maybe, shit, that came out. Your throat chakra, your crown chakra, and your sacral solar plexus can be activated, either overactivated or underactivated at this time. So you might find that you become a little bit more of a recluse and or introverted, just so that you can deal with whatever may be bothering you, whatever you may feel that you have been bottling up for a while now, and or just what wave of emotion might hit you in this space that you have found yourself in, though nothing may be going on externally in your life. Again, because you guys feel so deeply and you are so sensitive, you may be privy to something that can be coming in soon. So a little bit of a foreshadowing type of energy that you might be feeling. So it can be tears of joy that you might be crying, or you might find that you are starting to grieve the transition of somebody that may be leaving, and or just grieving in general for somebody else in your life that might be going through something like a tough challenge here shortly. And so again, you will be, because you're a cardinal water sign, you will be leading a lot of people. They will be looking at you as like a saving grace, or as a lighthouse, and or a place of comfort, and somebody to rely on at this time. I know it's your birthday season. Last thing you want to deal with is anybody that is not you, because it should be all about you. But if this is the case for you guys, just know that there is purpose behind it. You're being tested, and this may be what is going to promote you to that next level. So just be very careful with how you choose to handle those that may be a little bit more needy at this time than usual. I know it's typically you guys that get that bad rap of being a more needy person, but I just feel like others at this time are really going to be needing like your mentorship, right? You guys are used to the fluctuation when it comes to feelings, and the high and low tides of emotions. And so other people that again don't have those prominent placements, they might be struggling here. But you guys have the Empress card that came out with the Hermit and the 9 of Cups after that, with the 10 of Wands and the Page of Wands after that, with the 5 of Wands in reverse, the Judgment card in reverse, the 8 of Cups, and the 2 of Cups. Look at that, with the Queen of Swords, 7 of Coins, and the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. Now, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you feel like they just demand a lot of your time, attention, and affection, more than maybe what you realistically have to give, then you can feel like you are in a tough spot, because you guys are very sensitive and sympathetic people. You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings here, but you may come to have the impression that this person might be a little bit too dependent than what you're accustomed to when it comes to your dating style, because behind the Hierophant is the Devil card. So you might feel like this person is suffocating you. You don't have enough quality and alone time to be able to filter through all of the emotions that you feel on a day-to-day basis, and to have enough time to be in alignment with yourself so that you can put your best foot forward when it comes to the 10 of Wands and the Page of Wands that came out here. Others of you are going through a period where you are really looking at yourself internally with the Empress and the Hermit card, all the growth that you have done up to this point, but also where you still potentially could improve. Because if you're in a certain dynamic with another person, or just in general in your interactions with other people, if you find that there are certain things that still trigger you, then you're coming to realize that maybe you haven't healed as wholly and completely as you thought you did in the initial stages before putting yourself back out into the world, right? And being more so in those vulnerable states of existence where you have to trust in another person to be able to take care of you. Now, you guys are water signs, so you guys are very intuitive and often very psychic. But just because that sentiment is true for you, and you can more easily know what it is that somebody yearns for, and or what it is that they need without having to profess it with their mouths, that doesn't mean that other people are as good at it as you. That is a skill and a talent, and maybe a gift that was bestowed to you by spirit. And so you may need to be a little bit more tender with those that may need to move a little bit slower just to have their bearings at this time, and or just be a little bit more patient and again compassionate with those that have a more difficult time with elaborating their feelings, because not everybody is as good at it as you guys may be, right? And this can be vice versa energy. If this is something that you struggle with, you're coming to realize that at this time, especially with Mercury being retrograde, there is delays in speech. Maybe other people are asking for you to elaborate on certain things that may be bothering you, that you may want to some degree sweep under the rug because you don't want to really cause any drama or to really have any conflict. Some of you guys are not the confrontational types. And so if something is wrong, you are giving those kind of white lies with the Queen of Swords energy, not being very direct and straightforward with how you truly feel about a situation. Again, just because you don't want to get riled up and or you don't want to have an argument. You want there to be peace and harmony. And so sometimes you guys will sacrifice your truth for that serenity. And so maybe that is needing to be worked on at this time here. But definitely with Mercury being retrograde, I feel like it's a lot harder for you or somebody else that you could be dealing with to get their point across in a way that can be easily digested and understood without being misinterpreted. Again, because Mercury is not functioning at its normal capacity here. So just be very, very, how do I want to say that? Just be soft when it comes to messages that are being relayed at this time, if it's coming from your own mouth. And just know that if you're dealing with somebody that doesn't truly know who you are, right, that doesn't really know your heart, they don't know you well enough to know what your triggers are, then don't be so quick to pass judgment on them and or to brush them off and or dismiss them in a certain way when they do something that you just don't necessarily like, because there's a learning curve that is required for somebody to get to that level where they know, okay, this is a button that I know not to press with this person. So if they don't know you well enough to know what your triggers are, then don't fault them for maybe, stepping on your toes a little bit here, because at the end of the day, it is innocent. They don't mean to do whatever may happen if it hasn't already. So just be very, very careful with the way that you look at people underneath a magnifying glass when it comes to how they behave and or act towards you, and trying to nitpick at them with this energy here, because we are flawed individuals. Okay, so you're obviously going to see things that you're not going to like all the time, and that's okay. But outside of that, I just feel like now is the time that intimacy can be heightened, and you can have a lot of fun in matters of romance and bringing that back into a dynamic where maybe that can have been lost due to work and or other obligations or societal pressures or responsibilities that you guys have had to take care of. Children also potentially too. If you just gave birth to a kid, of course you have to wait that 6 weeks before you can have sex, but and there can be some fear surrounding that, like getting back into that groove of things. But I feel like this person is with you, and they will wait as long as it takes for you to heal and to be ready to have that moment. But also, this is a time where it's asking you to be more transparent, Cancer, again, with how you feel. If you are the type that is usually the one to bottle things up, you're turning a new leaf. Right? In order to get to the next level, you have to be more vocal about the things that bother you when they do in the moment, so that it doesn't progress and escalate into something that becomes a bigger ordeal than it had to be. There are a lot of things that can be easily avoided if you just choose to use your voice. All right. So that's what's coming through. There's relationship on the table for those that have been dealing with somebody. It's just up to you and whether or not you feel like you're actually ready to accept this blessing and this gift that you have been praying for to some degree here with this 9 of Cups, right? But that's what I have for you guys. So if the reading resonated, give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, subscribe if you haven't, and book with me should you need to. But if I don't hear from you, then please just take care of yourself and soul until you see me again. Ciao.